Oh shoot. We're live. Do I have it balanced properly? I don't know, guys. I think I'm gonna have to get a new balance. Bear with me, I'll be back in 2 seconds. Alright, we're in. Thanks guys for bearing with me. Want to make sure I got this down cold. Usually I have it, but I had to get this right. So, a little different setup. Morning guys. Today we're talking about 11 poisonous blogging stories that you have to release immediately, and this is the new blog post on bloggingfromparadise.com. So check that post out. Excuse me. The stories are ideas that we repeat to ourselves that are not true. They're based in fear, lack, and limitation. They're based in just struggles. They're based in bullshit. And that's what it boils down to. When you're aware of these stories that you're repeating to yourself, and they're things that you say in your mind to self, I'm not good enough, whatever. You know, there's a gazillion of them, but I'm just going to dissect 11 today. They're common that I've seen, that I've repeated to myself, and that I've seen in the blogosphere. When you repeat them to yourself, you're going to go down a road of struggle, failure, just total blogging garbage. It's just going to be, it's going to be a very depressing experience blogging, and it's going to be an endless struggle because you can't really grow when you're telling yourself all the reasons why you can't. So by pinpointing these stories and owning them, if you're saying them to yourself, and then I'll have a little mini solution, or all of them, it's just moving in the opposite direction, it's doing a 180, you'll be able to grow a more successful blog. And just as a call to action, make sure you click on my courses if you want a full, if you want the real enchilada, the whole, is it full enchilada? Yeah, I think so, but the whole treatise, the foundational tool. Course for building a successful blog. Click on the courses link on my blog, and you'll see the 11 fundamentals of successful blogging. And that's my audio course. I also taught in a bonus audio course. So this can be very, very helpful if you really want to root out the stories, because I go in depth into the inner world of blogging. Into your heart. Whew. Number one, I got to get around to that. That's a story we often tell ourselves. We see it a lot. I have in the past, rarely do now, but we're human, so I got to get around to that. Whether it comes to publishing your first post, buying your domain and hosting, writing your first ebook, creating your first course, it's fear. It's fear. It's like I want to do it, but I'm afraid to, because if you weren't afraid, you'd be doing it right now. You know what I mean? There's fear. Fear is the only thing that stops you. There's no, we say laziness, but laziness is fear. Anything that's lower energy is rooted in fear. So just say to yourself right now, the thing I've said I want to get around to doing, I'm going to do it today. I'm going to do it right now, not even later, because then there's that fear that's there. And just say to yourself, I'm going to allow the fun of what this experience will bring me, being this person, doing this thing, of being this person. I'm going to let that overcome my fear. Number two, I have no connections. Yeah, I didn't either 9 years ago. I wasn't connected. Who the hell knew me? I didn't know what a blog was. How was I going to be connected with bloggers? But I embodied the Robert Kiyosaki quote, which you know that I keep using, which is so true. The wealthiest people in the world look for and build networks. The rest look for work, or something like that. Yeah. Look for and build means commenting on blogs, promoting other bloggers. You have no connections. Well, guess what? You make connections. Not through hard work, not even through intelligent work, although it will be intelligent, but through effective, heartfelt, generous connecting with other human beings, and then you get connected. So you're going to have to pay your dues. This is how it works. You pay your connecting dues by connecting with people, by generously serving other influential folks, or even if you're not an influencer, you're brand new to blogging, just top bloggers in your niche. That's just the way that it works. It works for everybody. New York City. Gotta love it. Manhattan, baby. Number three, so you're gonna have to work to make the connections. Not hard, but meet people. Number three, I have no blog post ideas. I say in the post, this is like a guppy in the Mariana Trench. What is that, like 6 miles deep? The deepest, or Harlem or Manhattan. The deepest trench in the world, saying, "Oh my God, I'm running out of water. I have no water." 6 miles deep water, Mariana Trench. Blog post ideas are all around you. You might even do a post about a gal keeps clearing his throat during a live video because he just can't seem to get rid of that little bit of phlegm that's there. It's really kind of easy, guys. Blogging tips niche, open up my eyes, and if I go to ProBlogger, and I'm looking at my computer now as I'm doing it, and I read the comments section, I read what Darren Rouse's staff is writing about, I finally realize that it's not Rose, it's Rouse. And then I might cover a similar topic, right? Or I stop by a forum, I stop by wherever people in your niche are hanging out, whatever issues they're having, if they're having problems, there's certain dreams they want to live, like they have that. It's a gold mine there, guys. Quora is another great spot for joining and being an active community member. Good morning, Chris. I'm doing a bunch of assuming here, and I apologize if it's not Chris. I apologize. You let me know who you are. I'm feeling it's Chris. So the thing is, guys, if you have no blog post ideas, you do have blog post ideas. You just got to hang out in your niche, where the folks are, the issues they're having, and then turn these problems into profits. Number 4. There you go. Good morning, Chris. I am not talented and charismatic and a natural and incredibly handsome like Ryan, so I could not do that. I flesh out the point. This is my latest blog post, and if you're on my list, definitely get on it if you're not, but you've probably seen it already, or you're going to check your email and you're like, ooh, his latest post is out. I talk about the lantern jaw, a very square jaw. Maybe like a superhero, some would say, the all-American guy. But this is just the way I was born, so you're not going to be able to get that down. As far as that hard, that handsome. Joking around. Who the hell cares how we look? It's ridiculous. But no, you know what I mean. Like, I used to do it a lot, this story I told myself. And in my mind, I would say, oh my God, I'm not talented like them. Look, guys, get charisma, natural. They're such a natural. They just have this aura, they have this energy. And then I realized, oh, they practiced a skill, they dove into something they had fun with, and this is how you turn around the story. You follow your fun, and because they enjoy doing it, they practice that skill for every day for months and then years, and then they look like a natural. Then they seem like they were talented, but they wasn't so much working hard because that's a lower energetic space, but they just dove into something they were passionate about and they kept doing it, and then all that other energy just lined up and they became the dynamo that you see. So don't tell yourself that story. Just say, hey, I'm going to do what I love doing, so I want to do it and practice it, and then I'll be in that same boat. Right? I'm not lucky like so-and-so successful blogger. Chris, you know, Chris, in my experience, there's no such thing as luck. Obi-Wan, from the original movies, the real movies, and then Qui-Gon Jinn, who of course, well, Star Wars. In my experience, there's no such thing as luck. There's no cosmic accidents. There's energy. So people who think somebody's lucky, and I used to say that, man, this guy's so lucky. I always note Ray Higdon because early in my career I was more into like network marketing, stuff like that. And he was the guy I followed, and I'd see how much he made and just all these subscribers. Man, this guy's so lucky. He's so lucky. And it's a dingbat-ish story to tell yourself because over time I began to realize that luck had nothing to do with it. It was just him being passionate about something and moving in that direction and creating and connecting with folks. And how luck just doesn't exist. It doesn't. We think it does. We think dumb luck. We think some things came out of nowhere, but it's a universe of energy where your attention and energy grows through a conscious choice. Grows. Yeah, it's action and action. It's all energy. It's energy. It's energy. It's energy. My blogging business, number 6, another BS, total bullshit story, is non-existent, so I'm not a busy blogger. Now this is like, it's a little bit, well, it is kind of Jedi-like because you start thinking like in reverse. Like a lot of folks, they look at their business, and if it looks non-existent, they say to themselves, well, I'm not busy because I won't be busy, or I'm not a busy person because they think in terms of their blogging business being the indicator, like how much money they're making. So then they don't give the time and attention and energy to the blogging business that would grow and they'd see money through. You kind of know what I'm getting at, right? Like somebody doesn't really do anything with their blog, or they do a little bit and they're like, well, I'm not really growing business, so I'm not busy. And then they keep replaying this cycle and they struggle for years to make anything online. There's like no profits. And then you see other folks and you turn around this story and they say, oh, wait a second, maybe my business would grow. Not so much if I'm working hard or straining or striving, but if I would devote most of my attention and energy throughout every single day towards creating helpful content, connecting with influencers, having fun, just serving people, then maybe my business would grow and my business would be busy. Kind of know what I mean? It's some folks, they'll kind of just not do anything about their blog and, coast around and give no attention and energy to the fundamentals. And that's what it boils down to. My blogging business is non-existent, so I'm not a busy blogger. Well, get busy, not from this aspect of work and action, from a place of energy, fun, love, creating and connecting from an authentic space as the sweat comes in, doing the creating and connecting. Get busy building the fundamentals and your business will grow. Don't say, well, nothing's coming in. This is kind of one of those passive bullshit ones that people just think, things are going to happen unless they don't realize that stuff's not going to happen unless you devote most of your attention and energy to building your blog on the fundamentals, creating and connecting, of course, opening the income streams. 7, 11 minutes. Nobody has bought my products until now, so they will never buy my products. It's a story we all tell ourselves, I barely sold anything, it's not working. Well, I created this course and nobody bought it. So, working smart, working with that right energy, Chris, exactly. Not busting your tail from that working hard. Exactly, Chris. So nobody has bought my products until now, so they will never buy my products. And I just bring up the example from a worldwide perspective. I mean, I've had so many experiences myself. I've other established bloggers where it's like, holy shit, how did they, this persistence. A lot of folks, they tell themselves this story, well, nobody's bought it, so they won't in the future, so screw it. And this is a total 180 of what you should be doing story-wise. And really, there's no way to turn around this story better than looking at some of the most happy and successful people in the world. And I brought up J.K. Rowling's story. I think it was 13 or 14 publishers rejected her idea for Harry Potter. Nobody bought into not the product, but basically it is the product. Nobody bought into that idea, so they will never buy my product. So, if she based it on those 13 or 14, was it 30 rejections, whatever it is, that said Harry Potter, it's just this idea for this book, this little wizard, it's stupid. Or not even it's stupid, some I'm sure, but they would say, nah, people wouldn't buy into it. But then one person said, yeah, that seems like a good idea, only because their daughter, it was a publisher whose daughter picked up the book. Think it like that. And then over time, she becomes a billionaire. The richest author in the world, the wealthiest author. Think about that. Imagine if she based everything on, well, nobody's really bought in, so. And this is not pushing and keeping going from this place of desperation. It's just from a place of clarity that I have fun doing this, so I know there's a space for it. And I'm helping folks and I'm creating. So I know people will buy it, and I'm not even going to bring my attention towards people buying it. And this was a key for me. Change your story, change the story from past failure, and this is what I said as far as the story, to current day servant. Just get busy, not looking at your stats every day, but helping 5, 10, 15 people build their blogs if you're a blogging tips blogger. Or just helping people, promoting other bloggers, commenting on their blog. Get busy with giving, and you won't worry so much about the getting, so you won't be caught up in your stories, and then the sales will increase. You'll start selling your ebooks and your products. Of course, but you have to create first. Remember, I gotta get around to that. That's a big one. Number 8, sea salt shoulder tossing for successful blogging is a scam. If you guys know, I have this funny thing. I'm a goof guy. I'm a gag guy. I don't take this seriously. It's fun. So I keep putting this content on Quora, on my blog, pretty regularly now. Once in a while I moved away from it. But as a blogging tip, I say to toss sea salt over your shoulder 3 times. And that could help you become a successful blogger. A lot of folks believe it, and they're into it now. So they have like Mount Everest of sea salt over their shoulder, or Himalayan sea salt, which is phenomenal. I've enjoyed it here in the States, but actually in Kathmandu, Nepal, when I spent a month there with Kelly a number of years ago. So I'm just going to joke around and say, tell yourself the 180, lower your blood pressure in the process. Keep doing is what I'm saying. It's a silly thing, but this is what we're about here. This is good blogging, when you could just be like, oh yeah, I'm a clown. Number 9, I'm a nobody from nowhere. Technically, aren't we all? Because we're just spirits in meat suits. But you know what I mean. The lowering of the, well, I'm just this, I'm just down here. And energetically, it's, if you tell yourself this story, and I told myself this story for so many years, I'm just a laid off security guard. That was my full story. Nobody in the Bidoff clan, the Bidoff family, we're not confused with the Kennedys, ran successful businesses or just went out and lived their dreams ultimately. I mean, it's just kind of how it was. And I was just basing my life and my career as a blogger on this story that I turned around and I said, maybe my past doesn't really define me. Maybe it's just the present and the choices I make now. And I think, very good, Chris. Well, you know, now you're down there in North Carolina, that's it. You're going to have to, you want to distill the salt from the ocean water. And that would be a better idea. So I think if you really realize that you're not a nobody from nowhere, but you're just this unlimited being who can create, help, you're a limitless spirit, you're everything, and that's what's so beautiful about it. That story will shift and you'll see, man, I'm kind of special. Not from an ego boosting place, but just from a space that we have so much talent, we have so many gifts. Surround yourself with folks who are killing it and you'll feed off their energy. Woo, 16 minutes in. 10, if I get this one strategy or tactic or hack, it's like they say from Goodfellas, those blowjob hacks. Say hello to those blowjob hacks for me. Down cold, I will become wildly successful quickly. There's not one thing, and this is a story, I'm Quora and Warrior, and I have so many folks, if I could just get this out there, and what's the quickest way, and the one thing I could do, action, action, action. But only one thing, because they're so greedy or desperate, or there's one way to build a successful business. You turn this story around, you let go of it, you gotta release it, it's poison, and you realize that you will become successful over time, not quickly, because blogging is a skill, and like any skill in life, it takes time, energy, patience, and a devotion to your craft to practice the skill to a point where people will be like, damn, they're freaking good at it, or damn, he's one of the best in the world at it. Now, I don't see myself, I kind of do, but you know what I mean, I just see myself as a blogger, but then other people like, he's one of the best bloggers in the world, and I'm like, they perceive me that way because I've really practiced my craft. Like this, the videos, the writing, all that stuff, you gotta devote your life to this. It's just, there's no other way. If you're doing it part-time, then devote 2 or 3 hours on the weekend, 4 or 5 hours. You gotta, where your attention energy goes grows. If you're serious about doing it and you're like, man, I love this freedom, it seems, you gotta devote your time and energy. There's no hack. There's persistent, high energy, fun practice to get more clear on your writing, to get more clear with your videos, to get more clear with your networking skills, to get more clear with your products, to get more clear with your services, to learn the skills where you have the confidence and clarity to create the products and services. Bingo. And then over time, the money. So this takes a while. 1 to 2 to 3 year time frame to get things going. It's just the way that it is, but like every day, not like once a week. Bonus story, I cannot afford it. This story is, I see this more than any other one, really. It's the ultimate. I cannot afford to buy a domain and hosting, to go over from Blogger, that pissant platform that nobody cares about. I cannot afford to buy an ebook for $3.99. I cannot afford to buy your course or to hire you. The money's not there right now. I cannot afford it. That story, you have to be honest now, I do not value it enough, because you always spend on what you most value. You'll find a way. You always do. And if you don't have money in the moment, there's about 400 ways. Obviously, you know, you have to raid your parents' piggy bank. There's probably 400, 500, 600. No, there's limitless ways. We're at probably 400 right now where you could just pull out a credit card, apply for a credit card, go ask for a loan, ask for money, get a part-time job, get something online. Well, not even online. Go get a part-time job. There's so many ways in so many parts of the world. You know there's a way. There's always a way. But it's uncomfortable, and most people would rather make the comfortable choice and struggle and push away the free, you know, here's where it is to become a pro blogger. I want to become a success. I'm not going to buy the domain and hosting. I'm not going to pay for coaching. I'm not going to pay for the ebook. I'm not going to pay for the course. I'm going to do it for free. And then they wonder 6 years down the road why they're still running into the same struggles. And they say, man, I'm just still struggling. And then I'm like, you cannot afford not to afford it. Get your ass out of your comfort zone. That's where all the growth and love happens. Thank you so much. Gotta roll. 20 minutes in. We're going to head out from the city in a few hours, catch the bus back to Jersey, and then back to the city a few days later on Thursday. So thank you so much for joining, Chris. The call to action in the blog post itself, and you'll see it on bloggingfromparadise.com. I link up to some nice ebooks, and I link up to my 11 Fundamentals of Successful Blogging course. That's a person, not a crow. We're in Harlem, Manhattan, New York City. I swear that's a person. If you heard it, that's not a crow. Brandon Lee was such a good actor, right? R.I.P. dude. Loved him. So, treat yourself some ebooks. See bloggingparadise.com/ebooks. Shop around there, enjoy, and then also bloggingfromparadise.com/courses. I'm going to click it to make sure BFP-courses. But you'll see the courses link at the top of my blog on your phone or on your Chromebook. Enjoy, go wild. Until next time, see you on Periscope Live, of course, and Facebook Live in a few minutes. Enjoy Paradise, guys.